Hello YouTube, Tammy here as a yarn crafter, coming to you with a WIP video. First off, I've got to apologize. My voice probably sounds a little harsh. I've come down with a cold, so bear with me. I'll probably end up coughing through the video, and again, I do apologize. So, how was my weekend? Well, hubby came home from work Friday evening, had dinner, then decided, hey, let's go to the trailer tonight. Give me about an hour because he drives for work. So he drove already like 7 hours that day for work. So he wanted to rest for about an hour, hour and a half, and we'll go up to the trailer, which is less than an hour drive from us. But at nighttime in the country, gotta watch out for wild animals. Did not see any, but you still gotta watch. So that gave me time to decide what I was taking with me to the camper. So I knew I was taking my wristers that I'd already finished, and I showed you guys Friday. I knew I was taking my Things We're Making Thursday project, which you guys will see in this upcoming Thursday's video. I knew I was going to take my next project on my Head to Toe Winter Knits book, and I decided to take Sophie just in case. You never know, right? So I looked in the book for my Head to Toe Winter Knits. I already knew what yarn I was going to use for this specific project, so I had that ready. I just had to look at the size of knitting needles I needed, and that's all I looked at. And off we went, kind of thing, to the camper. Well, once we got there, we had to wait about an hour, hour and a half. So it was about 3:30 by the time we got to bed, because we want to give the trailer plenty of time to warm up. It's kind of chilly along Lake Erie at middle of the wee hours of the morning. So we gave the trailer about an hour and a half or so to warm up. So I worked a little bit on my Things We're Making Thursday project. And Saturday when I got up, I had finished it. So then I thought, okay, perfect. Let's get my Head to Toe Winter Knits project on the go. Yeah. Boy, is there a backstory to this one. Start off with, I've been knitting for 32 years now. I learned to knit. I know more or less the basics and a little bit more beyond that, but not much. And I found in the pattern for said item, one of the abbreviations, when you looked at the front of the book, it's not there. I'm like, okay, I have no idea what it's trying to tell me to do. And then I got looking at more abbreviations, and they were totally not making sense to me. So I thought, okay, we're going to scratch this project for now, and we'll wait till I get home, and we'll figure it all out. The streets of YouTube, you can find out almost any stitch you need, and great tutorials. So I had to wait till I got home. So I worked on Sophie. I didn't put like a whole lot into her, but I probably did. I'm thinking 3 rounds, just under or just over 3 rounds. So I'm going to show you the short side of where we left off when I showed her off last Wednesday. The blue marker is the row, beginning of the row. The purple stitch marker is where I was when I showed her last. So there's what the short row is looking like. I'm still liking her very much. And then this is what the long row so far looks like since I showed her off last. And then there's another short row. And that's as far as she's got so far. So I have put a little bit of progress on her. Of course, stop mid-row, or mid-round, but at the end of a row. So I know exactly where I'm at. Because I have a habit usually stopping mid-row even. And then I got to figure, okay, what stitch am I on? So at least I know exactly where I'm at this time. I made sure it was the end of a row. So my stitch marker has now been moved. My progress one. Okay, so I got home Sunday mid-afternoon from the camper. Hubby and my son had to go somewhere to do a vote for possible strike or no strike for work. So I was home alone for a little bit. I thought, okay, let's get on YouTube, see if I can figure out what stitches I'm supposed to be doing and things like that. Found tutorials very easily just by putting in the abbreviations that the pattern book was telling, like in the book was telling me. And to town I went. Now this pattern is a 32 row pattern. And within that 32 rows, you got 16 rows that go one way and 16 rows that go another way. And I'll explain that in a minute, like regarding the cables. I started it Sunday, worked it up pretty quickly. And before I knew it, I was on row, I think 19, possibly 20, but I think I was on row 19. And I'm looking at it thinking, something doesn't look right. You know, and I know everyone always says, trust the progress, trust it, you know, I just go with it. And I'm like, no, there's definitely something wrong. So I took just a normal colored, solid worsted weight yarn and a spare set of needles. I cast, because it's, the pattern itself is a 9-stitch repeat. And then there's 4 stitches per side for the edging. So I thought, okay, well, we'll do 2 per side and then the 9 in the middle, which makes 13 stitches. So I cast it on 13 stitches. I started on row, I think 14, just so that, you know, I could work a bit of the work that I know looks right. I'm sure of it. And then from there, we'll figure out what I'm doing wrong for the other half. So I did the first few rows of the first 16 rows. Then I got to row 17, and the moment I read it, I thought, I know exactly what I'm doing wrong. I don't know the abbreviations for the second half of the cable stitches, and they're done different than the first half. So I am on row 22 at this moment, and I'm hoping you can see how the pattern's working up, because it is a variegated yarn, and I'm sorry about that, but here you go. Hoping the camera's picking it all up good. I am loving this pattern. It is a pretty simple pattern. So sorry about that. It would be easy if I had like a DPNs, or not DPNs, sorry, circulars with a very long cable. I could easily turn this into a beautiful blanket, this pattern. It's coming along pretty good. I'm planning to have it done for the end of the month, just so I can get it entered into a give or make along I'm participating in. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to let you guys go. Again, sorry about the hard, sore throat. Oh, about the head to toe things we're making book. If you guys wouldn't mind heading over to my post on my main page, it'll be the very first post that will pop up. Put a vote in, would ya? It takes a couple seconds, just so I kind of have an idea of what I'll be making when this scarf gets done. So anyways, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow. Voice pending. If not, it will just be a silent, quick show of things I'm making Thursday. So everyone have a good night, and I'll see you all later. Bye for now.